Today I want to share with you my top 5 favorite foundations for oily or combo skin. I've tried a bunch of different foundations over the years, everything from light to medium to full coverage, foundations, luminizing foundations, more of a satin finish, and I've found that I prefer more of a matte finish. My T-zone gets really oily at certain points of the day, so that foundation I feel like is what helps with my oil the most. I don't have super oily skin that, you know, my makeup is sliding off my face, but I do get oily in my T-zone, as I just mentioned. I have a bunch of different foundations, but I have certain ones that I gravitate towards, so I'm going to show you the ones that work for me. Something that works for me might not work for you, but I did want to share with you that I do love and always reach for. I do have a mixture of drugstore foundations and high-end. So the first one, my 24-hour foundation. This is more of a demi-matte, meaning it's not super matte. It does have a semi-matte finish. Lasts a really long time, and I feel like this works the best for me in terms of oil control. I do get oily at some point, but I feel like this lasts the longest. I think, so I'm normally without a tan 102 Shell Beige. As I start tanning and getting darker, I do have a hard time finding the exact color, so I end up mixing. I have this in like 4 or 5 shades, so I end up mixing a bunch of different colors. I'm wearing this today and I have, I want to say 3 different colors mixed together. I have this one, which is the 102 Shell Beige. I also have Soft Sable, which is a very darker shade. That doesn't match me at all, but I mix it with a lighter shade, and I also mixed it with Cream Cafe maybe, which is like a medium to dark shade, and then Stable is a dark. I mixed them all together and got this look. So that's what I tend to do with this foundation, is I mix it a lot in the summer. It works the best for me for my oil control in the summertime. I wear it in the winter as well. Like I said, I'm usually 102, which is a lot lighter shade. Winter, like I said, it does the best at lasting all day. I do have to touch up a little bit, but I'm not super oily by the afternoon, which is when I tend to start getting oil, is the afternoon. So once again, this is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte 24-hour foundation. Another really good foundation, which is also drugstore, oily combo skin, is the Maybelline Matte and Poreless foundation. This is $220 and I believe I'm $125. I can double check when I go back and look. So the $220 will match me like right now. It might be a little too light because I'm still fading from going to Mexico, but this does really well at controlling oil. Very good coverage, just like the L'Oreal Infallible. So these I would consider just really good foundations from the drugstore that help with oil, that give you a matte finish, in my opinion, for oily combo skin. Next is a kind of an indie brand. This is also really great for combo or oily skin. This is the Hayley's Beauty Reset Liquid Matte Mattifying Foundation. This foundation is a little tricky in terms of color. It does tend to lean towards a warmer yellow tone. So I think this is 3.25, which is very orange on me. I get the 2.0, which is better. This has a full coverage, very full coverage, and it's very matte. So it is a little bit drying on me, or it looks like more dry on me. So when I use this, I put a hydrating primer underneath because, like I said, I have combo skin. I don't have full oily skin, so this might be great if you have really oily skin. It's very good and it lasts all day. Like I said, it does help control oil. It gives you a really matte finish. I think more than the L'Oreal Infallible. And pretty affordable brand, and it's cruelty free, which is great. So once again, this is the Reset Liquid Matte Mattifying Foundation. Next is a high-end brand, and this is the Mercier Flawless Fusion Ultra Longwear Foundation. This is a newer foundation to me. I've been using this for a couple months. I got it from Influencer, and I got it in the shade 3N1 Buff. It's a little light for me right now, but I'm sure it'll match by next week. My skin is continually getting lighter and lighter. I haven't been in the sun, so my tan is going away quite quickly. Really good, once again, at controlling oil. This you can layer. I layered it 2 or 3 times and it does not look cakey whatsoever. It blends really, really well. This does not control my oil as well as the ones I just previously spoke about, but it still controls it pretty well. I said I get oily around the afternoon, late afternoon, depending on the foundation I'm wearing. So this starts to get a little bit oily in my T-zone by lunchtime, which is pretty normal for me, but the rest of my face looks great. Up with a little bit of a mattifying powder or oil blotting sheets, you know, works great. This is very long wearing. I would say this lasts not as long as the L'Oreal Infallible, but it lasts pretty long. I really like the coverage of this and I like how my face looks. It looks really flawless, and like I said, you can layer it and it does not look cakey, which is, you know, something that I look for in a foundation. The negative to this is it's $48, so it's really expensive. Not gonna match me come the winter, so I do plan on getting this in a lighter shade, but I am gonna wait till Sephora has a VIB sale so I can get it for a cheaper price, because I do not normally spend $50 on a foundation. But once again, I was really surprised at how much I like this. It's a matte finish and it's great for combo skin, oily skin. Probably better for combo than straight up oily, but it still claims that it's a mattifying foundation. So if you have really oily skin, I suggest going to Sephora, getting a sample and trying it out to make sure that it works for you before spending $50 on it. Once again, this is the Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Ultra Longwear Foundation. I have 2 more foundations. I know I said top 5, but I did want to mention one more besides my 5th one. The 5th one is a drugstore foundation that I've been using a ton. It's not the most oil controlling foundation, but for the price I think it's phenomenal. This is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation. I have this in 5 shades now. It's about $5 or $6, I believe. Like, I will link all of these foundations below, but this is just a really great foundation. Inexpensive. It does give a really nice matte look. It's not super mattifying like some of the other ones that I talked about, but it is a matte or demi matte, whatever you want to call it. But this blends really nice. I usually use about 2 layers. You can definitely build up the coverage. It's a medium to full coverage. So I've been using this a lot because, as I mentioned, my skin tone keeps changing color because I went from super tan and now I'm just gradually going down. So I've been using currently these 2 shades, which are Classic Beige and Desert Beige. Classic Beige is a medium tan and Desert Beige is a medium dark. So I started wearing the medium tan and I saw in pictures that my face looked a lot lighter than my rest of my body, so it didn't look so much in person that my face was a lot lighter, but when I looked at pictures I saw that my face looked a lot lighter, so that's why I went back to the dark and I'm starting to mix these 2 together. And I normally wear a light or light medium, and I have neutral undertone, so that's what I usually use. So yeah, these I do get oily by the afternoon. Not super oily, but I do get more oily than with the other foundations. But because this is so affordable, I just usually just gravitate to this because it's like $5. You have coupons, you can get it for like $3. So I think it's a really great foundation, and once again it has a mattifying type finish. So I don't know if this is for specifically oily skin or normal to oily skin, or if it's for all skin types. I want to say it's for all skin types. Again, I will link below the foundation. You can check it out and it'll say, I'm sure, where you can buy it, if it's for all skin types or just oily. I want to say it's for all though. Once again, this is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation. Those are my favorite top 5 foundations for combo or combination oily skin. I did want to mention one more because I do think it's a great mattifying foundation. I just don't reach for it because I don't have the color I have. I guess doesn't work great for me. I don't know if I just picked the wrong color or if their shades are just, my skin tone just isn't, it's in between shades maybe. This is the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Mattifying Foundation. So the color I have is, I want to say this is vanilla, but I don't see where it's written on here. It says number 35. I'm not sure if that's even right, but I basically went to Sephora and I got shade matched, and this is the color they said I was. This is a color that I got tested for in the winter or before I was actually tan. So I wouldn't wear this right now anyways because I don't have a color to match me. But this color is kind of orange on me. Like, doesn't look horrible, but I feel like it's more orange than my skin tone. So I don't know if they just don't have a neutral tone or they gave me the wrong color, but I don't reach for it for that sense. It is a pretty good foundation. It does get a little cakey if you wear it too many times or layer it too much, but I do think it's great for a mattifying foundation. It is long wearing, but like I said, I don't really reach for it because of the color situation and all that, but I did want to mention it just because it's not in my top 5s, but it is a really good mattifying foundation that helps control oil. With any foundation I wear, I always put a pressed powder to set my makeup. I prefer a pressed powder that has color to it to put on my whole face. So no matter what foundation I use, I usually gravitate towards 2 different pressed powders. Both of them are mattifying. The first one is my favorite, and it's the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte 16-Hour Powder. So any foundation I wear, I always set it with this one or the next one that I'm going to talk about. This is in 500 Sun Beige, but I also use the 300. I don't know the exact name for it, but once again, I'll link it below. This is a really good mattifying powder. I think it gives just an extra coverage and help with controlling oil, and I just think it helps make or finish the look. So this is the first one I usually use. The second one, that if I'm not wearing the L'Oreal, I'll use this one. It's the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless powder. It's for normal to oily skin. So this color is 130, and the other color I have I think is 225 or something. I'm not exactly sure, but like I said, I'll put it below. This is the other one I use. I just prefer extra coverage, extra help with controlling oil, and those are the 2 that I usually use. So those are all my top favorite foundations for oily combo skin. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, just post it down below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and until next time, thanks guys, bye!